Every weekday, students are waking up around 6 in the morning to get ready for school. Most students who don't drive have to wake up earlier than 6 just to catch the bus. The problem is that the student probably isn't getting the recommended amount of sleep he should be getting just because he has to get up early for school. I hope to persuade you that school starting later in the morning will be beneficial to all students, especially for their health. It will increase their grades, behaviors, and the overall performance of the student. Everyone has experienced one of those nights where you just want to stay up late, where you stay up late to do your homework that is due at 8 o'clock in the morning, and when you finally get to sleep, it feels like only 5 minutes later your alarm is going off and it's 6 in the morning. The research that I discovered proved that starting school later in the morning would result in improved student health and improved student performance. I will begin by explaining why starting school early affects the student's sleeping habits, how it results in bad academic performance, and how it also affects the teacher's personality and teaching habits. According to Lisa Harrington's article, Should School Start Later?, adolescents need between 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep, and 59% of 6th to 8th graders and 87% of high school students aren't getting it. According to the article by Los Angeles Times, written by Justin Pope, there is always a distraction that is keeping a student awake at night. Technology is the main distraction because most students are always on their phones checking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, texting, talking, etc. This explains why students are only getting around 5 to 6 hours of sleep at night. Nothing is going to change a young person's mind to turn off their phones at night when they have school in the morning. So, to avoid all the hassles and possible behavior outbreaks and loss of sleep, schools should change their time to a later time. Everybody has a certain type of clock in their body that lets them know when to go to sleep. With adolescents, their clock is going to bed at a later time and waking up later in the day. According to Peck Dawson's article titled Sleep in Adolescence, knowing that adolescents go to bed later and wake up later, they usually wake up in the deepest part of their sleep, just to go to school. It is very important to get a good night's rest and to achieve the deepest part of one's sleep. It is the part where one truly relaxes and sleeps the best. If we start school at a later time, students would be able to get the recommended amount of rest and would not have to wake up during the deepest part of their sleep, and they would feel refreshed and ready for the day to start again. The loss of sleep can cause many students to having daytime sleepiness, behavior problems in school and at home, and can lead some students to drop out. According to Julie King Marhifka's article titled Sleep Deprivation Consequences for Students, 20 to 25% of students waking up early for school reported feeling sleepy during the day. Students are reported to being slow-paced, having poor memory, and having an affected cognitive thinking when tired. When students don't get enough sleep at night, it results in many students falling asleep in school and even on the road. It is proven that 50% of young adults and adolescents fall asleep at the wheel and get into crashes, which could be improved if there was a later start in the day. Starting school early leads to behavior problems in students because they are still tired. According to Peg Dawson's article, author of the article titled Sleep in Adolescence, students can become irritable, impatient, and have a low tolerance for frustration. Parents are often the first to notice these problems with the schooled student. The major problem that they see is depressive symptoms because the child can't find the time to sleep. With knowing this, most disruptions that will be made in class will be made from the students that are irritable and are frustrated because all they want to do is go home and rest instead of learning what they are supposed to be learning. According to Bruce Hain, author of the article titled School Board Trustees Debate Later School Start Times, someone quoted that our immune system doesn't function well if we don't get enough rest. This leads to students not eating well, getting sick all the time, and our mental health being affected. When our mental health is affected, Students won't be able to do their assignments in school, therefore students will get bad grades. Eventually, if the students keep receiving bad grades, they could drop out and even begin using drugs and can become an alcoholic. When thinking about school, we should not only look at the students, yes, they are very important, but teachers are also very important. According to Denise Amschler and James F. McKenzie's article titled Sleep Habits and Sleep Concerns of Public School Teachers, Administrators, and Other Personnel, a study was conducted comparing the health status of 704 general practitioners and 588 teachers. Results showed that 58.5% of the teachers had difficulty sleeping, while 49.6% of general practitioners had sleeping problems. If you do the math, you can see that both the parties experience sleeping problems, and they are two completely different professions. Getting an adequate amount of sleep at night allows teachers to plan out their day better with using fun and entertaining ways to teach the children. Most teachers stay up late grading papers or planning for the next day's class. It is said that teachers that use a great amount of PowerPoints or videos in class do it because they are not well prepared for class and didn't get enough sleep. No student can learn from a boring teacher that just reads from a book all day or just watches PowerPoint presentations or videos to learn. Therefore, if the start school time was set back, teachers and students would be able to better prepare for the day, and even if they are only getting an hour more of rest, it is better than nothing. Today, I have described why early wake-up times affect many students' sleeping habits, how it results in bad academic performance, and how an early start time not only affects the students, but also the teachers. To make this change happen, everyone must be on board. If we continue to deprive these children of their sleep, then our future society is going to have a lot of adults with sleeping problems and possible depression. Changing the time in the morning can help the children become a better person in the future. Whether you are a student having to suffer through waking up 6 a.m. or a teacher staying up all night to grade papers, adding at least an extra hour would help your health tremendously. I am sure that I can speak for a lot of students, but I know that I would like to hear my alarm clock go off at least an hour later. Nope. I gotta figure out how to put that in.
Pan.